And now for a taste of things to come.
Hey guys, this is Brian from the Dude What Movie Review podcast, and we are bringing you a very special edition of our Dudetable discussion. It is an all Mortal Kombat movie talk. Jim and I took a little field trip to the theater to watch the film, and we came back and had a very lengthy, in-depth discussion about the show that there was no possible way we could fit it into one episode. So, you're getting a bonus episode. You're welcome. We talk about so many things on this special edition about the movie. Major spoilers ahead, so if you have not seen the film, I highly suggest that you go to the theaters, check it out, and then come back and listen to our episode and our breakdown. And then whenever you're done, write into the show. Hey, you guys at dowhatpod.com, give us your insight and your thoughts, not only about what we thought, but what you thought about the film. And then we'll share your thoughts on air. We always love interacting with people who engage with the show and keeping that conversation going. But for right now, my friends, we just want you to sit back, strap yourself in, and enjoy the show.
Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I just want to watch.
Just want to watch Mortal Kombat.
Oh, dude.
This is a special edition of the movie talk. So, I mentioned earlier that we are jacked about recording this episode, and the reason why we're jacked is because last night, Jim and I went and saw Mortal Kombat in the theaters.
Yeah.
Together. We had like a little Dude What field trip.
When you say last night, you mean like about 8 hours ago.
Right.
We had finished watching it.
At the time we were recording this, you guys know that we record ahead of schedule,
Yep.
okay? So
Yep.
you guys are probably getting sick and tired of hearing us talk about Mortal Kombat, but let's just be honest, all right? At the time of us recording right now, we're on the second weekend of Mortal Kombat's release.
Yeah.
You guys know it was on HBO Max and released in theaters.
Right.
We went and saw it the second Friday.
Right.
And we're recording on a Saturday morning right now.
Right.
So, like, we both literally got home at like 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
And here we are early on a Saturday, and we're jacked.
Well, let's be honest. Like, we got out of the theater. We're literally only people in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's it. It's
and
three of us.
we started talking about it. I was like, we got to shut up. We got to wait.
have to save it for the podcast, Jim.
Yeah, because it was one of those, like, we both were like, whoa. And you've seen it on HBO Max the night it came out.
I didn't watch it on the night that it came out. We had a lot of stuff going on that weekend, but when we got back from out of town that weekend, I knew I wanted to see it. I didn't want it to be one of those things where it came out and everyone's talking about it and I hadn't seen it yet.
Right, yeah.
So I convinced my wife to watch it. But she likes action movies, so
Yeah.
she's, it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
she's down. As long as it's good action, she can get into it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So Sunday night, I was like, I really want to watch this movie. And she's like, well, put it on. So let's watch it. And so we watched it Sunday night, the first weekend. You messaged me, and you and I were talking. I was like, man, I really wish you had seen that so we could talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
And you're like, you send me a text. You're like, so I'm going to the 10:15 showing. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah, and so like last minute, I texted a bunch of people. My friend Joe was like, yeah, I can come. And then I didn't think you'd be able to make it. And then
Right.
you surprised me. So
Yep.
Let me just say, watching a movie in the theater,
It's nothing like it, man.
especially when we're still kind of on the back half of the pandemic stuff,
Right.
because nobody wants to go.
Nobody wants to go. People are scared to go.
And I'm absolutely okay with
I'm
that.
completely fine with that.
Like, I don't want theaters to go away. I don't want that.
Oh, no, theaters shouldn't go away. I mean,
But
there's something-
I'm okay with sitting in a
Yeah.
theater with a few friends
Yeah.
watching an epically good movie.
It ultimately not be cost effective for theaters to run with such a low attendance, but let's be honest, there's nothing better and there's nothing that beats going to a movie.
Yeah.
Especially something that's a big movie like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Because that's a big movie.
Right.
All right. We've talked about it here on the show. Reboot of Mortal Kombat. The hype train on that, the promotional tour has been flawless.
Yeah.
No pun
marketing.
intended. The
Yeah.
marketing on it has been absolutely flawless.
Yeah.
The build has been great. We were jacked to go see it.
Yeah.
So
Now-
I had already seen it. All right. And I had told you that I loved it.
Yeah.
And we'll get into the discussion on the back
Sure,
half of us
sure.
talking about
Yeah.
the movie about other people who may not have liked it.
Right, right.
But your initial reactions, go.
Because I run social media,
Right.
I'm seeing reviews. I'm seeing, I'm trying to steer away from any spoiler type stuff.
Right.
And I'm already seeing like there was a massive division for the movie.
Right.
And I was just like, whatever, I'm still going. Because when I saw the trailer, I was like, I have to see this in theaters.
Of course.
I was like, I do not want to just watch it on the TV. I want to go to the theater.
Right.
And especially after going and seeing Godzilla vs. Kong in the theater, I was like, I'm definitely going to see Mortal Kombat in the theater.
Yep.
I was already pumped. I was excited, man. Got my buttery popcorn, all that. We sit down. Even when the Warner Brother logo came up.
Right.
I was like, oh, yeah. And so here's the thing, because I remember you asking me if I had seen the teaser, the 7-minute teaser
They had
at the
released
beginning.
the first 7 minutes of the film as a teaser trailer to get people hyped for the movie.
Yes.
And I purposely went out of my way to avoid watching it. I didn't want anything from the movie spoiled for me whatsoever beyond what was just in the initial trailer.
Right. It was my understanding with that like part of that was already seen in the first trailer anyway. And so I was like, I'm totally watching it.
Right.
And I will tell you that watching it on your phone as a teaser trailer
And then watching it
on the big screen
is an
is
experience.
a completely different experience. The emotion that it pulled out of me, even from the beginning, I was hooked. And I was ready for the ride, man. It was a trip. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
There are a few things, you can tell that there's some newer actors.
Yeah.
That translates a little bit on some of the scenes, especially with the dialogue. Because, it's a Mortal Kombat movie, so I'm not going for...
You're not going for an Oscar performance here.
Right. I'm literally going to enjoy watching people's heads explode and stuff like that.
We'll get deep into the weeds on it, but a movie like this, in my opinion, this is just for me. All right, this is just me talking.
Yeah.
But an adaptation like Mortal Kombat, what I'm looking for, if you're not going to stay completely true to the original story, what kind of themes can you pull from that original story to go forward?
Sure.
And what I noticed right away is they pulled from the original story and they pulled from newer tellings of the story from like the NetherRealm studios on the newer video game releases.
Gotcha.
So they took aspects of both. And
which you would think would make fans really happy.
Right.
Because you're hitting your old school fans and your new school fans.
A whole swath of different aspects of the Mortal Kombat realm.
Right.
I enjoyed that right away. So I'm looking for that.
Yeah.
I'm looking for great action. I'm looking for believable martial arts.
Right.
Because it's Mortal Kombat.
Exactly.
And you know what? And honestly, for me, from the gore aspect, which, let's just be honest, it's rated R. This is a rated R. They did rated R. They did it right.
Like the trailer was red band.
Right. So if you're going to do Mortal Kombat, it's got to be rated R.
Right.
Because it's so graphic.
Right.
I wasn't one of those people that was looking for quote-unquote fatalities.
Right.
Like, I didn't care about that,
right.
honestly. I just cared about the story.
Yeah.
I just cared about what the story was going to bring and what it was going to do for the characters.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I feel like it all worked really well together.
Right.
And like you said, touching on some of the acting, there's a little bit here and there. It's like maybe some kind of hokiness in the acting. But that's okay,
right?
Because you're not there for that.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Like, so there was a few scenes that was like, oh, that's not. But then watching, I'm like, is it the actor or was it the writing on that? But at the same point, I was like, I don't care.
Yeah,
because I'm here for the action.
Yeah,
I probably should rephrase something. What did I just say? Like, I just want to watch heads explode. It's a little dark. So, yeah, that way people don't think I'm completely psycho. Like
debatable.
There's a certain expectation you have for Mortal Kombat.
It's Mortal Kombat,
right? And the little bit I remember from the movies in the past was that they couldn't go all the way.
They made a conscious decision to not go all the way, and I think the reason for that is because they were trying to appeal to a much younger audience.
Right.
And it's really hard to appeal to that teenage crowd with an R rating that's going to require parents to take their kids to the films.
And let's think about it. It's actually smart on their part as even starting a new franchise because all of the people that played Mortal Kombat as a kid
are now grown up.
Now are adults and can go see a rated R movie.
Yeah.
And will go see a rated R movie.
From a marketing standpoint, it was genius.
Yeah. But with the storytelling and stuff like that, like I wanted to see good fight scenes.
Yep.
I wanted the soundtrack and music to be
to accompany.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an integral part of it.
Right. I was reading some of these reviews and I was like, okay, whatever. It is literally the movie that kind of is kicking off the post-pandemic blitz, if you will. And wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
It's one that seriously people need to see in the theaters.
I agree. The thing about this film, there's been a lot of pushback from quote-unquote fanboys.
Right.
And the reason why there's that pushback is because there's this expectation of what you want the film to be versus what the film is.
Right.
People get into this argument all the time of, well, this is what the story is and they should stick to this.
Sure.
Okay, that's great. You can do that.
Right.
That's not what's happening on this one. This is an inspired retelling of the Mortal Kombat universe.
Yeah.
So treat it as that. Don't treat it as what you want.
Yeah.
Because what you want is going to be vastly different from what you end up getting.
Right.
What I have learned doing this podcast, whatever expectation you have, if it's like up here at like a 20, drop that expectation down to about an 8.
Yeah.
And then go into the movie with that.
Right.
Because if you have any kind of built-in expectation going into a film, it's going to be really hard to live up to that. There's only been a handful of times on our show that we've had movies that actually live up to that expectation going into the film.
Or exceed it, yeah.
Yeah. And then we've had other films that had high expectation, Rosemary's Baby.
Here we go again.
That just totally dropped into the gutter. You know, specifically for that film, I don't know if it was just an expectation or if it was just honestly I thought it was a terrible movie.
Yeah,
personally.
Dude, I was literally just thinking about Rosemary's Baby as you were talking, and the reason why is because I was thinking about, I was like, why has there been such a division on this particular movie, on Mortal Kombat? Because it's no different than the Lord of the Rings, where, you know, you have people that have read those books, and then the movie came out and people nitpicked that, but then people love the movies because it was like, and they were excited about it because it was the first time putting that in a visual experience, you know. But then you think about, like, every book series that's ever been made into a movie, there's always people that critique it. But I think the difference is because this is a video game, most gamers, if we had to use a label or a banner to fly, right, the nerd banner or whatever, and we've kind of talked about this with superhero stuff, there's a higher expectation, and I think more so they're just more vocal.
That's true.
Because they're rabid fans.
Well, it's because they're passionate about it. It's their baby, and they don't want anybody messing with it. And I get it to a certain degree. I understand it because we've talked about the video game The Last of Us for me and how it's being remade on HBO as a series. Yeah. For me, there's a high standard there, and the reason why there's such a high standard for me is because the story is already perfect the way it is. Yeah. I feel like with Mortal Kombat, there's enough gray area over the course of the original Mortal Kombat video game, the original movies, and the new releases of, you know, the different incarnations of the game now, that you could muddle the storylines and do different stuff there. It's evolved over time. There's so much of it has evolved over the course of its history. It's run since the early 90s. You know, going in and messing with that and tinkering around with it and coming up with a different story like they did with this release, it doesn't affect me as much because there is so much gray area there. But something like The Last of Us is an established, well-produced, well-acted, well-scored video game with a great story that could rival really any Hollywood production right now. Between its first and its second, you know, release. Seeing that being reimagined as an HBO series, there's that built-in trepidation, but let me see what you do with it. You know?
My point, I guess I'm bringing all that up, is that I think people that love their books and stuff like that, they're vocal, but they're not as vocal because I think they just appreciate the fact of, like, oh, I'm actually getting to see this on the screen.
We were talking about that way back in the archive. If you go to dowhatpod.com and click on the archive and go all the way back, I believe it was on our first Dudetable discussion. We were talking about Justice League.
Which I think was episode 10.
So. You had talked about listening to a podcast, I believe it was Spoiler Country, that you were listening to back then, talking about that movie. And it's like, hey, guys, look. You're getting your stories put out on film. I mean, at least be thankful for that. Because 10, 20, 30 years ago, you weren't getting any of this. You know, you can sit here and you can dog it and trash it as much as you want, but at least your stories are getting told to some degree.
I bring all that up, I guess, just to more so say I understand the mindset of the fan. And plus, I mean, be honest, with gamers, like, you can spend a good time with a book, but then when you're done, you're done. I mean, sometimes you might go revisit, but with the gaming, you spend literally hours of your life.
Days,
invested. Your mind is thinking about it. You're playing it, like, you know, all of that. And so, like, I get it. Like, it becomes like a family member almost to you in some aspects. But let's be honest, and this is where it ties back in with Rosemary's Baby. It's like, Rosemary's Baby was a movie that was based on a book, and they literally put the book in a film.
Because Roman Polanski didn't know that he could change the story itself. So he literally took the book and made it a film.
And so then that's what you get is a dumpster fire. So it's like...
It was... It was a 4-alarm fire in a manure warehouse. It was so bad.
The whole landfill was on fire. But
I didn't know garbage could burn that quick.
I say all that to just basically say that I understand the fans' response, but at the same point, understanding the fact that, like, it's a new edition. And they're trying to build a franchise now with that. And you know what? I'm okay. I'm here for it. I'm along for the ride. I understood that even going in. I was like, they're going to make this into a franchise because everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
But at least they're finally giving it the attention that it really needs, and that I think will be good to watch and fun to watch. So
my suggestion to people who haven't seen Mortal Kombat, if you love action movies and if you love martial arts and you like a little bit of the sci-fi as well, this is a fantastic movie to watch.
Yeah.
If you are just Joe Blow guy on the street who doesn't really know anything about Mortal Kombat and you like all those aspects I just listed, you will love this movie.
Yeah.
Because I watched it with more of a critical eye the second time watching it.
Sure.
Because I wanted to see for myself how much reference there was to the original story, the original video games.
Right.
And more specifically, the storylines.
Yeah.
They did a really good job with the writing on this movie by not including so much of the original storyline. They basically took the inspiration and created a whole new universe.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that because then it doesn't have this muddledness to it. A lot of people who don't like this movie, they don't like it because it's not tying in to the original stuff.
Right.
That's literally the only reason why.
Yeah.
I've seen videos, people trying to explain why this movie is not good and all this stuff, and literally every single reason is because it wasn't what they expected.
Well, I think
it had nothing to do with like any other real attributes as far as like, storyline or character development or anything like that.
Right.
It's always tied in somehow back to, well, I just didn't like it because it wasn't the original. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and see, and that's also so because you have such a big world with Mortal Kombat, and like because it's been around for a long time, and they have multiple storylines, it lends itself to make it a great franchise.
Right.
And the fact of and especially this movie, it sets you up, but it doesn't really set you up for. I mean, it introduces a new character.
Yeah.
Because people are like the purists, and they want the. It's like they can still pull from the original stories.
Yes.
In future films.
Well, and I thought, you got a taste of that with this movie by starting off the film literally in the 16th century with the story between Scorpion and Sub-Zero and how they come to be Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Even with that, you're in the middle of their story.
Yeah.
You don't even know what was their rival. We don't hear that.
Yeah, you don't
we just see it's kind of the end of that, right?
And I love that they start off with that, and you don't have to be beat over the head with their story explaining why they hate each other.
Right.
They're a rival clan. They're rival clan. They battle against each other.
Right.
And so they have this conflict between the two of them, and that's what kicks off the story.
Yeah.
And then it goes like right into the sci-fi elementals of it, with Raiden appearing, and that's where the story goes forward.
Yeah.
You get snippets and traces of it that feed into the story along the way, playing into the new line of the story.
Right.
But then, spoilers, guys, for those of you who haven't seen the movie, spoilers, they bookended on the back end with more of the Scorpion and Sub-Zero story.
Right, yeah.
So it's classic storytelling.
Yes.
It's beautiful, classic storytelling.
Right.
I think people allowing themselves to have this expectation way up here blinds them to the storytelling that's happening in this adaptation.
Yeah. And I think that's, unfortunately, I think we were talking about it a little bit last night even, but I was like, typical American way, right? Let's just be grateful for what we have.
Right.
I don't know. There's this sense of like I think we have this high expectation of the things that we are passionate about, and I get that. I understand that, like with storytelling, it's like, it's your baby. It's something you've spent literally your entire life interacting with. And so you have this expectation. But at the same point, to pull back and go, hey, they made a freaking Mortal Kombat movie rated R.
Yeah.
They've got young actors, and they got so much story to pull from. Like, this is going to be a fun ride.
Yeah.
I feel like for the first one and the new franchise, man, I think it was a great cornerstone film.
I have zero complaints, literally. Like, the stuff that you can nitpick on, to me, it's inconsequential to the totality of the film.
Yeah.
Like I said, you drop expectation of what you know about Mortal Kombat and just watch the movie for the movie itself.
Right.
Take everything out that you know.
Yeah.
Because this is a retelling. This is new. This is fresh. This is new. This is not old stuff. This is new.
Yeah.
Just watch it for what it is. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character in this, do you think?
Kano.
Kano.
Kano's my favorite character in the whole thing, even though he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, right?
But that's who Kano is.
Yeah.
He played Kano exactly who Kano is supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Kano is a conniving, manipulative...
Opportunist.
Opportunist. He's a douchebag.
Yeah.
And he's going to go for whatever is his.
Right.
Whatever he wants and whatever's going to benefit him the most.
Yeah.
And so seeing his turn in the film... it plays into the character so well. It was perfect. And plus, he was just hilarious. He's freaking hilarious through the whole entire thing.
Yeah, he definitely added the humor element.
Yeah,
which was fun. Like there was definitely some moments I was laughing. I don't know. I actually enjoyed this storyline with Sonya Blade. Like I was like, okay. Like at first I was like, I mean, I was excited to see her.
Yeah,
but
where were you now?
Well, I mean, just even her as a character, I feel like they did a really good job of presenting her.
This is where I like the idea of the power from the dragon emblem that is given. It's like this supernatural elemental that just kind of floats into the ether.
Right.
And whoever it attaches itself to, it gives this gift.
Yeah.
That's what Raiden says, the gift of the dragon tattoo, basically.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a clever way to introduce these abilities. I dug it. I liked it. It was a good tool to use to drive specifically Sonya Blade's story.
Seeing her come into that, I think, was really, and we've talked about it in the past. Like there has been kind of this rise of the woman, I guess, in film. There's films that do really well, and then there's others that it feels like you're being beat over the head. And I feel like this was one of those, like there was that element of storytelling, and she was already an empowered woman, and very much, to me, it didn't come across as, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but it didn't come across as like a Captain Marvel.
I hate everything you just said.
Character. Here we go. Here we go.
I actually really enjoyed her story and how she came to that, because it's like she wants nothing more than because she's invested her life into studying this, right? Like, and she wants nothing more than to be a part of this. So she's like, wow, this stuff that I've been researching and studying, like this is a real thing. And so you see that development, and then the realization that she can't be in it. And then just that whole story with her and Kano, I was like, oh, okay.
It was clever. It was clever writing.
Yeah. And then the little garden gnome even was a nice little touch.
Well, but that was a good, nice little callback. Well, I mean, because they built that whole entire conflict between the two of them, and especially with Kano, for the realm of Earth, just everyday Earthgoers. Kano is probably a really bad guy you don't want to mess with. He's tough. He's very aggressive.
Very dangerous individual.
Yeah. Even without his special power that he unlocks.
Yeah.
He's somebody you don't want to mess with, but when you put him into this realm, he is a lesser person, because he doesn't have the same skill as everyone else. He's a brute fighter, but when you get to the level of Mortal Kombat tournament, you got to be a skilled fighter.
Right.
Playing on that by having Sonya, who is more skilled as a fighter than he is, but she just doesn't have the special ability.
Well, and she has the heart for it.
She definitely has the heart and the drive for it, but she doesn't have the marking.
Yeah.
And for her to take that from him, but you see it early on teased on, like where he, is like, go ahead and take it, but she has the moral compass pointed in the right direction, that she wouldn't stoop to that level to get what she wants.
Right.
She wants to earn it.
Right.
It's simple storytelling like that that plays into the overall film that I think gets overlooked. I mean, look, like we said when we first started talking about this, you're not going into it for an Oscar-worthy performance.
Right.
You're not going into it for like a Meryl Streep performance. You're not going into it for like a Heath Ledger performance. You're going into it for a story. So what's the story? Give me the story.
Right.
There's so much storytelling throughout the entirety of this film that gets overlooked because of fanboy expectations.
Yeah, because we're blinded by... Dude, there's just so many little seeds that were dropped along the way, like I said, that I think you're going to see play out down the road in some of these other stories that they're going to tell.
Right.
Talked about earlier how, like, we went with my friend Joe. I remember him saying at the end, he's like, I was surprised. So they haven't even done the tournament yet. And I go, right.
And that's another thing that I love about this adaptation. It's Shang Tsung. There is one gripe that I have. Okay, let me back up, because this whole story is about Shang Tsung trying to circumvent the prophecy and trying to circumvent the actual tournament to just go ahead and take over Earthrealm.
Yeah.
All right. So he's breaking all the rules that he can.
Right. Yeah.
And I love that, because it just shows like this evil, treacherous side of Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
My only gripe about the whole thing is they don't actually name him Shang Tsung until the very end, when Raiden addresses him as Shang Tsung.
Yeah. You bring him up, I would say, as a newcomer to Mortal Kombat. If you've never seen any of it, and you don't know any of the storyline, that is kind of a part of the storytelling. They didn't really shape. It was kind of like, boom, here's this guy. And it's like, well, who is this and why is he,
the way they could have gotten around that, do you remember the scene where they come to Raiden's temple?
Yeah.
And Raiden puts the force field up to block them out or whatever.
Right, yeah.
When they leave, you could have had either Kano or Colt or one of the other characters, like maybe even Sonya,
right?
Just like turn to like Liu Kang or turn to Raiden and say, "Who the hell was that?"
Yeah.
And then Raiden just, or Raiden or Liu Kang or maybe even Kung Lao just say that's Shang Tsung. He's the leader of Outworld's top person, whatever, however you want to word it.
You could do a thing where kind of a flashback storytelling where they're telling the story, just giving that snippet. I mean, and they kind of did that a little bit with the hall of fighters, right? But there wasn't a lot of context with that. So because that's the main villain, and you're like, I need to hate this person. But
and I mean, you're going to hate him automatically just because of everything he's done up to that point, the way he presents himself. But I think given a little context in that moment, just to who he is and naming him in that moment, that would have played out better long term because now you know who that is. But with regard to the other villains, the other characters, those are inconsequential. They don't matter in the story. Now, if you're a hardcore fanboy, those characters, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that with this character. Those characters don't matter in this universe at this point. They're to drive the story here.
Right. And again, they can do flashbacks and they can do, there's so much. You can do prequels and like there's so much that they can do with this universe. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how it plays out and stuff. But I feel like as a cornerstone film, like I said, for a new franchise, for kind of a reboot of Mortal Kombat.
I thought they did a fantastic job.
I agree. And I think as far as video game movies, it's one of the top until they can make something better. Right. But there was moments where, I mean, I was excited. There were elements even what I vaguely remember playing as a kid, like with Liu Kang even, like I remember playing him as a kid a lot, like on the Mortal Kombat games and stuff. And so like his fatality and I mean, you get a little glimpse of that in the trailer and stuff. But I'll be honest, when they first introduced him, like the guy as the actor, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Like, he kind of has the look, but then I was like, I think in my head, I always pictured Liu Kang being like Bruce Lee.
And the reason why is because in the very first game,
they mimicked after him.
He has a very Bruce Lee kind of look.
Yeah.
No shirt, wearing black pants, got black shoes with the white socks.
Right.
The short haircut.
Yeah.
He had a very much of a Bruce Lee vibe.
Yeah.
Now, in the second game, it's more the look of what Liu Kang would be.
Right.
The longer hair, the headband, more red. There was that evolution between the first and second game.
Yeah, and so I think that's where I was a little thrown off at first, but then his fighting style and then just, like I said, the fatality, I remember being like,
I saw you cheering. Because I sat behind you guys.
Yeah, so I was pretty pumped about that. And then just the way the final battle, man, because I was like, okay, the main character, is he going to basically be Scorpion reincarnate?
Right.
Like, that's kind of what I was thinking, and that's the way the story looked like it was going. And then when Scorpion shows up, bro, like, I mean, again, there are elements in the trailer of that fight that you see.
Yeah.
But there's no context to it.
No.
And so then, like, there was just, they did a really great job of building and building and building, because it's like, I think I got to figure out this guy's going to basically turn into Scorpion. But then when he gets his power, it's like, that isn't Scorpion.
Yeah.
And then when he actually shows up, dude,
well,
it was one of those like, holy shit moments, you know.
I see this, and this is from a storytelling standpoint. This is what I appreciate about this movie is Hanzo's bloodline carried on.
Yeah.
Colt was an orphan. He doesn't know anything about his heritage. He doesn't know anything about his history.
Right.
But he's a part of this bloodline.
Yeah.
And so to see Raiden kept the original blade that basically killed Scorpion.
It still had his blood on it.
And then to see Colt holding it and cutting his hand, and then the two aspects of the bloodline converge.
Right.
And that's basically what unlocks Scorpion.
Yeah.
I can't praise the storytelling enough.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I get so infuriated hearing people like dog it, because it's really good.
Yeah, because I mean, in that moment when it happens, because Sub-Zero's about to kill him.
Yeah.
You see the oh shit moment, like in his eyes. Yeah, just the get over here. Like, they kept it in the trailer. That was part of the thing that was like, oh, I got to see this. Like, it's awesome. Even knowing, like, it was going to come eventually.
Right. You're still jacked for it.
When he does, you're just like, I think that's where the marketing aspect, I think, they plant that seed.
Yep.
You're waiting for it. Yep. You get lost in the story. And then when it happens, you're just like, yes.
See, my favorite part of that is when the blade starts to catch fire.
Yes.
And Bihan, Sub-Zero, is holding it. He has this look on his face.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is happening? And that's when that gets stabbed from behind with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, shit, here we go.
Yeah. The build to that fight scene.
The build.
It was worth it.
The build.
It was definitely worth it. Yeah, this movie, I really enjoyed it. It's one you have to see in theaters.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, you saw it
twice.
And
it was better the second time around. I enjoyed it the first time I watched it. Thought it was great. Couldn't understand the backlash on it. Watching it the second time, even with a critical eye,
right,
I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I still got so much enjoyment out of watching it because everything was unique to this universe, this retelling, this adaptation.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't rely so heavily on established plot points. It took inspiration and ran with it.
Yeah.
And I absolutely, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. I remember asking you afterwards, I was like, so is it better in the theater?
Yes.
And you were like, yes.
If you have not seen Mortal Kombat, first off, smack yourself in the face. And second, don't listen to other people. Go into it with no expectation. Don't listen to other people. Make your own decision on it.
Yeah.
Take everything you know about the story, wipe that slate clean, and start fresh, and just enjoy this movie because it's a freaking phenomenal movie.
If you're going to listen to anybody, listen to us. No.